Hello, fellow humans on this planet. Today we're going to be watching a replay from somebody that one of my Discord members, and they said that they brought a certain Pokemon, and I find this to be very, very odd and bizarre. I'll have to see it to believe it. Supposedly it's the lead. You're not going to believe it when you see it either. But they said they got tired of seeing the same exact leads over and over again in Gen 3, so they brought something interesting. So the opponent brought a Jolteon. We are going to bring... Yeah. Yeah. This isn't a joke. This isn't AI. They actually brought a lead Clamperl. The opponent said, been waiting to see this. Oh, yeah, don't worry, me too. The moment I saw that, they said, yeah, they're going to try out the old-fashioned lead Clamperl. Not even John Madden could have seen this coming. So the Jolteon went for sub baton pass, of course. Who are they going to go to? Probably some physical attacker to handle the Blissey. Yep, it's a Heracross. What did Blissey go for? It's going to go for a flamethrower. Okay, that was pretty convenient. Maybe it also has like Thunderbolts, which is obviously why they didn't click that on, Jolteon with Volt Absorb. I would say Electric is probably a little better offensively than Fire. But in any case, they brought in a Weezing to eat up the Brick Break from Heracross. This Weezing doesn't have leftovers, just to point that out. What'd they go for? Maybe a Fire Blast or something? They went for Sludge Bomb. Are they going to poison the Misdreavus? Come on. Nope. No poison. So we still have to get good, obviously, at the game. Because poisoning Misdreavus is good. These things are usually just Perish Trappers, and I've been seeing them on the comeuppance lately. They went for a Thunder Wave, though. Okay. That's not too common. And it's going to hit the Clamperl. Okay. I have no idea what this Clamperl is going to do. I would imagine when you look at Clamperl, it looks like it could learn Explosion. But I know that's not true because Huntail and Gorbis don't have Explosion, obviously. So the Misdreavus is terrified just like the rest of us. They went for a Protect just to see. The Clamperl just goes for a Surf, of all things. Okay. I guess they just want to get some damage. So then they bring in Starmie to resist the Surf, most likely. Let's see how much damage it does. Probably like nothing. $55? The opponent has recognized Deep Sea Tooth Clamperl. I don't know what that does, but I guess it probably is like a signature item that allows them to do a lot of damage. That is... Dude, that's crazy. That's a 2-hit KO. So they switched out of Clamperl because they were fearing the Thunderbolt. But if that Starmie didn't have Thunderbolt, they could have easily 1v1 them. That's insane. And they actually have a Lunatone too. That's another weird Pokemon. The Aromatherapy is going to cure the paralysis on Clamperl. Of course, you got to bring the support for your lead Pokemon, right? We decide to say the opponent. The one time I use is when I see non-Scarm or Salamence lead. Huh. The opponent said this is my draft team, man. They went for a Calm Mind with Lunatone while we brought in Fortress. Probably to get spikes up, but the Lunatone's getting Calm Minds up. Hidden Power Bug. I feel like that's banded. I don't think that should have been one. Yeah, like Lunatone's a rock type. Rock types just naturally have good defense, so I'm assuming we're banded. So they brought in Misdreavus, obviously, probably thinking the same thing. We can't go for spikes. For all we know, this Fortress probably doesn't even have spikes. Back into Clamperl. We're in a good spot to go for Surf. Did they go for Thunder Wave again? Yeah, they did. They said, I don't want to mess with that Clamperl. Or they just wanted to paralyze Fortress, something like that. Paralyze something. I'm surprised they didn't try to... I would have been fearing Blissey, honestly. I would have done that the prior turn. Mean Look, and then try to trap it with Parasong. The Clamperl went for Hidden Power. I don't know what that was. Maybe it was Grass? Expecting Starmie, and they got a crit. It literally almost one-shot that Misdreavus. They're going to go for a Cringe Protect for some HP. I'm expecting a switch right now. So if I was them... Okay, so they went for Hidden Power. So the fact that they went for that makes me think that they might switch. And even if they don't, I would click Surf right now. They went for Parasong. I guess it doesn't matter. So they have to try and stop the Clamperl because this thing is going to run through the whole team. But now that they've eliminated Misdreavus, they can switch out now. Wow. Clamperl actually running through this team, and yeah, they can go into Blissey. Well, maybe not yet, because Snorlax is a threat to Blissey. That's their final Pokemon. But yeah, I think aromatherapying the Clamperl ain't a bad idea. They're gonna go into Weezing the physical wall, perhaps to burn Snorlax or even blow it up. Weezing pretty decent, but it doesn't have leftovers. I don't know what this Weezing wants to do. This team is so weird. It went for Haze. That's actually a good move, especially against like Snorlax trying to set up on you. Went for a return. Still did a lot. We don't have leftovers. I can't stop stressing that. That would be really useful right now. What did we click? Can't be Haze. Maybe Sludge Bomb again? The Willow Mist. Got it. Dude, we would have healed up like 24% HP already by now if we simply had leftovers. I think the right move here is Sludge Bomb. I don't know if they'll kill us with a Surf, but they just... Oh, yeah, of course. You just bring in Blissey. Yeah, I sometimes forget we have the indestructible Pokemon that is Blissey. Yeah, Surf, not going to do anything at all. And it's looking rough for the opponent. I don't even know how they're going to kill anything. They have Starmie, Jolteon, which get walled by Blissey, and then they got Heracross, but they've got Weezing, but I don't know. Well, actually, maybe not, because Weezing doesn't have leftovers, so it can only take so many attacks from Heracross. But don't worry, guys. We got the aromatherapy off, so we can send in Clamperl eventually on that Heracross and just go for a raw dog surf and kill something out there. They went for a Swords Dance. Ooh, they're trying to go for game. Flamethrower, don't burn them. Okay, cool. You didn't burn them, so now what happens next? I'm looking at our team, and that Heracross looks like it can kill everybody with like a Mega Horn. They went for a sub? Must be a Salackberry. It did that just to ensure that, you know, they outspeed everybody, including any possible Aerodactyls, and now they're Swarm boosted. So a Swarm boosted double attack Mega Horn, yeah, not even Weezing's gonna live that. Maybe Fortress will live. They went for Brick Break, obviously they didn't want to miss. Makes sense. So you had Swords. Yeah, okay, so their last move, it has to be like Mega Horn. So I don't know how we win this battle. They must have missed Mega Horn this turn, I bet. No, he connected. Oh, yeah, you're dead. What's going on? I would have sent in Fortress that turn. Like I said, a Weezing, no way you're living that. But Fortress at full. Okay, now they bring in Fortress. That should have happened the prior turn, but you should be safe from Mega Horn. Brick Break. No, I think Mega Horn would have done more than Brick Break, but perhaps they didn't want to risk missing or something. Whatever, Heracross still put in a lot of work. We unnecessarily lost Weezing. So up next, we've got Starmie. Now remember, that Heracross did kill the Blissey, so we have no special wall. Fortress might die here. It's banded. Oh, forget it, man. We've got two Blisseys on one team. We have a Regice. That serves 23. Oh, God. That, and after leftovers recover, that's doing nothing. The Regice might have rest. It's probably going to have Thunderbolt. But you got to be careful. That Jolteon could Volt Absorb. They stayed and went for another Surf, so Thunderbolt's going to completely annihilate you. They went for a Thunder Wave. Okay, that's interesting. They must have been confident that Jolteon would come in to Volt Absorb, obviously. They paralyzed Starmie. It's not a big deal because they got Natural Cure. So if I was them, I would switch into probably Snorlax. Yeah, there's Snorlax. Because I'd be fearing like an Ice Beam or something. Yep, there's the Ice Beam. Didn't do too much to Snorlax. What's going to happen now? We know that thing has Curse and stuff. The Regice must be going for Boom. No, into Clamperl against a pretty specially tanky Pokemon being Snorlax. Is that actually going to 2-hit Snorlax? They're at 85% HP. You would need to do like at least 45 because you got to factor in leftovers, right? It went for Confuse Ray. That's so diabolical. The old-fashioned lead. Yeah, it hit himself in Confusion. They got Surf. I'm assuming Hidden Power Grass and then Confuse Ray. Wow. And then the Surf does. It did 43. It almost did 45. They didn't even really need that Confuse Ray. But speaking of the Confuse Ray, they hit themselves again in Confusion. And they can't switch either. That Starmie's not going to appreciate the Surf. They literally brought in Starmie. Okay, well, they might be cooked moving forward. That Surf's going to do 59. And if I was them, I would click Hidden Power Grass right now. Because, I don't know Clamperl's base stats. I've never seen this Pokemon before in my life. But I think you can live a Thunderbolt. No, they said whatever. I'm going to play it safe and bring in Regice again on the Starmie. Yeah, and they did go for Thunderbolt. That was a good play then. Good play. I would be just kind of just clicking buttons and killing people right now, but maybe they want to hold on to Clamperl and for like Snorlax going crazy or something. They stayed and went for another Surf. Ice Beam will definitely kill Starmie. It's just too low. It's not a bulky Pokemon. Yeah, they're dead. And I don't see how you would really lose this. You gotta keep Regice. No, you don't. Well, it depends on that last Pokemon. That Jolteon can still win. So yeah, in comes Snorlax. Oh yeah, the opponent could still win. Let's see what they click. Let's see how much our Ice Beam does. We went for Thunderbolt and we got a crit. Oh yeah, that's over. It's over for sure. You just gotta paralyze that Jolteon. I don't know why they went for Thunderbolt actually. The opponent said lol nah. I don't know why they went for Thunderbolt. Ice Beam was for sure objectively the better play because they could switch into Jolteon Volt Absorb. And Ice Beam just does more to Snorlax. Maybe they were afraid of them having thick fat or something. But I think it's all over. You just sit here and they actually went for Thunder Wave. But they knew that they had substitute. They could have just kept spamming Ice Beam. Like, you know. I don't know why they went for Thunderbolt in the Snorlax. They got really lucky that turn. So now their Jolteon needs to get insanely lucky. Because, you know, Ice Beam's going to hit them in the face. And it's probably going to be a 2-hit KO. And that Jolteon cannot 2-hit KO this Regice. So it's going to need either a crit or a para, both, whatever. Thunderbolt did. Yeah, it did nothing. It got the para. Hold on. It could still kill like Clamperl and Fortress. Maybe. I don't know anything. And they got a crit. Well, the opponent was probably thinking that was a pretty gnarly battle for most of it until the very end when they got crit twice. But yeah, it was still a really good battle. I'm kind of confused on the Thunderbolt and Snorlax because that crit for sure mattered. They were going to go for return or rest or something. They weren't going to go for curse. They either wanted guaranteed damage or rest. If they hit you with a return, then yeah, that Jolteon might have been able to clean you up depending on what your last Pokemon is. I don't know if these guys can lift Thunderbolts from Jolteon. It was a lot closer than it looked. We had 4 Pokemon, but it was close. It was close. Wonderful demonstration of Clamperl. It had a deep sea tooth? Is this becoming meta? Deep sea tooth Clamperl. Imagine seeing that in ADV Rev 3. Wow. Yeah, this is way crazier than when they used Hitmonlee. Okay, that's the craziest thing I've seen in Pokemon today, and I'm gonna log off now. I need to go hydrate after that. That was making me sweat way too hard. Goodbye, everybody. Take care.